So, Texas moved up a spot. So we got Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Alabama, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, Oregon, Penn State, Missouri, Michigan. Interesting. And then Utah, Miami, USC, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Oak State. Interesting. Those two right next to each other. Those two next to each other. Kansas State, LSU, Kansas, Arizona, Iowa, Louisville, Georgia Tech, NC State, and Clemson. Why is Clemson even in the top 25? They should not be. Washington actually wouldn't be a bad one to put in the top 25. Louisville over here, up in the top 25 of the coaches poll. Okay. Oh, Louisville was there. Went right over them. Okay, so yeah, this is an interesting one, man, because so the big game obviously this weekend is going to be Texas at Michigan. Texas, for everybody saying how close this game could be, I don't think it will be. I think Texas wins 2 scores plus. Like double digits plus. We'll say double digits plus. Because I don't see. I look at the matchup of Michigan's offense, Texas defense. Texas defense has the advantage. It's going to come down to Texas offense, Michigan defense. A lot of people say Michigan defense has the edge, but that defense is not geared to face Texas offense. That defense is geared to play Alabama from like 8 years ago. Like when Alabama would just ground and pound your freaking throat. So, to me, Texas has the distinct advantage in this game. They have the explosive players. They have a lot of that kind of going from. The other thing is Michigan. A lot of people say Michigan didn't look good in week one. Yeah, I mean, week one, kind of got to find yourself a little bit. It's fine. Some teams struggle a little bit on week one, kind of get out there, go through the process a little bit. Okay, this is what our team kind of is. The thing that also does kind of worry you about Michigan, though, is the quarterback situation. It's not great. Their leading running back from last year is number 2, which, I mean, that could be good, right? You're saying, hey, we got a lot of depth here. So, that's a pro, but it's not like Texas got scrubs on defense. So, I would imagine I could definitely see Texas being a little bit better on controlling the game than what people expect. I was really kind of hoping to see Texas Michigan last year in the championship game because I thought Texas would have beat Michigan or Alabama, either one. I thought Texas and Washington was a bad matchup for Texas, but Washington wound up getting the dub. Luckily, almost missed it, but yeah, you got that. The ones that I'm not high on, so Notre Dame, I'm not high on them. They went into A&M. They won at A&M College Station this past weekend, which I don't even see A&M on the list. A&M is not on the list. But if you watch that Notre Dame A&M game, neither of those teams were impressive. I guess the only maybe bright spot on either of those teams was really the defenses on both teams. They were both pretty good, but I don't know how much that was because the offenses were so damn inept. They were bad. And I'm talking Notre Dame's offense wasn't good. They were not good. Like both quarterbacks on both teams were missing throws, that kind of stuff. So I'm not high on Notre Dame. I get it. They went into College Station. They won. And you got to give them props to do that. But A&M came off a losing season, somehow ranked in the top 25, and they didn't look good. Stigman, I guess, the A&M quarterback, he didn't look good. Notre Dame's quarterback, Riley, who transferred from Duke last year, which was interesting dynamic in that game because last year's Duke quarterback and head coach had transferred. Quarterback went to Notre Dame. Head coach went to A&M, so they actually played each other then week 1 of this year. That's kind of funny. Anyways, but not impressed by Notre Dame because they beat a team that had a losing record last year and they just got a new coach. And they didn't look good. I mean, the defense looked pretty good. The defense looked better than what it did last year for A&M. So giving credit to Notre Dame, to me, that's there's no credit. I mean, A&M might be a middle of the road team this year. That's very possible because they were a losing team last year. So it's not like A&M could be a top 25 team, right? But the other thing I'll say is Notre Dame, let me just check their schedule. Yeah, their schedule, they play nobody. Their next hardest game is going to be Louisville in like 4 weeks. They get Northern Illinois this weekend, Purdue, Miami, Ohio. Yeah, I mean, they play nobody. Louisville, Stanford. Stanford ain't good. Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech might be good. I don't know, man. That win over Florida State's not looking all that great anymore. But then they play Navy, and then they also play Florida State. Wow. So we'll see if Florida State gets their shit together by then. And then Virginia, USC. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about the Fighting Irish right now, but I wasn't high on them. I wasn't high, and I was not impressed by that win. I really wasn't. Like, A&M's quarterback couldn't complete a pass at all, and really neither could Notre Dame's. The only reason why Notre Dame even won that game, they broke 2 runs. They broke two runs that set up 2 touchdowns, and that was it. That was it. Those were the 2 offensive highlights of the freaking game. And outside of that, the offenses weren't up and the defenses were good. So I'm not impressed with Notre Dame. Not at all. Ole Miss. Still wait to see them do anything. Oregon. Heard Oregon struggled. I wasn't able to watch that game. Can't watch them all, man. So Oregon struggled against Idaho. I think that was Idaho, right? Yeah, Idaho. Yeah, 24-14. That is not good, man. Their quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, I'm not a fan of. He played at Oklahoma last year. I'm not a fan of him. I didn't really watch too much Oklahoma last year, but the game I did watch, obviously, was against my Texas Longhorns in the Red River rivalry, and I wasn't impressed. They should have been able to put that game away last year, but Dylan Gabriel kept missing throws that kept Texas in the game. And you can say Texas putting pressure on them and all that, but it's like, dude, you got to make those throws. You make those throws, you win the game a little bit easier than Texas coming back and actually having the lead in the last minute. And then they had to make a drive. He did make the final drive of the game to go down and win it, but it shouldn't have been that close. It shouldn't have been that close. So that's, to me, I'm not big on Oregon because a lot of people, especially me, are very hyped on Dylan Gabriel. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I see a lot of inconsistencies in him. Yeah, I just see a lot of inconsistencies. Let's see, Missouri. We're gonna find out about Michigan, Texas this weekend, whichever one. I think, yeah. We'll find out about those 2. So Utah, Miami might be one of the more impressive teams that um, with their win in the swamp against Florida, that this team could be a huge sleeper this year. And a lot of people were kind of saying it, kind of coming into the year, not really giving Miami respect for what they did in the kind of off season coming into the season. And I get it, man. It's like, dude, this is Miami over the past 10 years. Prove it to me on the field. Very much like Texas over the previous like decade and a half. Like, prove it to me on the field. Texas finally did last year. Is Miami going to have a year like that where Texas proved it last year? Miami, are they going to prove it this year? I mean, going in to beat Florida, the way they beat them, how badly they beat them, is very impressive. But I don't think Florida's good. That's the only problem with that. And so, I'm curious when are they going to play someone? Also, Louisville on their schedule. Jeez, dude, they got a cupcake schedule as well. They go to Cal, so that's interesting. I don't know if they've ever been to Cal before in their history. Georgia Tech, that's another thing of this conference realignment, and the ACC is all the way out on the West Coast now. It's crazy. Georgia Tech, though, yeah, ACC is very cupcake-ish this year. I mean, it would be easy. It'll be easy for someone like Notre Dame or Miami go through, just steamroll everybody, and they're the ones making it into the playoff. I can very easily see SEC or Big Ten get maybe 5, 6 teams in this year into the college football playoff. And that'd be crazy. That would be absolutely nuts. And they both might get like 5. They can't do that, I guess, technically. But I could definitely see one of them getting like 5 or 6. I mean, that could definitely happen. Who else we got? Yeah, USC had a good win against LSU. LSU kind of just fumbled that one away. It just didn't stay locked in, man. Tennessee didn't really play anybody. Oklahoma, didn't really play anybody. So yeah, we didn't really see much of it out of anybody else. So here in about 3-4 weeks when we start conference play, we'll start really getting locked in, seeing how things go. I'm really excited for this weekend though. Ohio State, I mean, I didn't even talk about Georgia and Ohio State, but Georgia, like everybody's super high on Georgia. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm not big on Carson Beck, but that's just me. That's just me. I'm not saying he's bad. He's gonna be he's good. I don't think they're gonna be able to lean on him all that much. Anyways, Ohio State, they got who's their quarterback from Kansas State transferred to Howard. I don't know about this. I don't. Their wide receiver, I forget his name, the new one that came in, freshman, looked really good, really impressive. I saw some catches that dude made, but yeah, it wasn't. It's hard to judge on the kind of competition some of these teams are playing so early. Alabama under DeBoer. Yeah, we'll see. To me, the only one that seems legit is Texas. That's just my opinion. Texas, maybe Georgia. Texas and Georgia. To me, those are probably the 2 best teams of the season. And they'll play in like week 6 or 7, whenever that was. A week after Texas plays Oklahoma. What's Georgia's schedule? So Georgia will play Alabama here in 3 weeks. Yeah, I mean, beat the crap out of Clemson. I remember that now. But yeah, I mean, it's Clemson, dude. They're going back to their pre-dominant era of Clemson. And Dabo Swinney's about to get fired because he doesn't freaking change anything. He is not adjusted. You either adapt or die. You adapt or die, right? And that's the saying. And he's about to wind up dying on whatever stupid hill he's on. Anyways, Georgia does have a pretty tough schedule. See, like they got Alabama here in 3 weeks, Texas 6 weeks, and then they'll have Ole Miss and Tennessee after that. Georgia Tech, dude. Georgia Tech's on a lot of teams. Let me go to Georgia Tech. They're on a lot of teams, man. See them on a lot of schedule to play Florida State, obviously Louisville. They got the ACC. They get Notre Dame, Miami, North Carolina State, Georgia. Jesus, to wrap out the year. So their last 4 or 5 games is going to be crazy tough. They should get Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech was not impressive. They lost to Vandy. Vandy for the win, dude. That's pretty cool. What's Ohio State's schedule like? So Ohio State doesn't get tested until they play Iowa and Oregon, which Iowa's... Are they going to be good yet? Are they going to actually be able to score more than 9 points? So they'll play Oregon, Penn State, and Michigan, obviously. But, yeah, that's going to be a pretty good run. What has Texas got? Texas got... So Michigan coming up. They don't really have much. So, I mean, they get Michigan... And then it's a pretty favorable schedule. I'll be pretty honest. I mean, they'll get Oklahoma, and then the week after they get Georgia. So if they can get those 2 games, even if you lose Michigan close, if you can get these 2, you're sitting real good. A&M is going to be a rivalry game that hasn't been played in like 12 years. They're going to be jacked up for it. They got to go to Arkansas, also an old school rivalry game. But all these kids, they don't know it. Most of these coaches don't even know it anymore. So, yeah, these 2 could be sleepy. But they'll get UTSA, Monroe. They get Mississippi State at home, Vandy, Georgia, Kentucky. So, yeah, Texas doesn't have a bad schedule. I remember looking at that in the offseason. Like, they didn't have a bad schedule. Alabama. What do you got? Georgia, Tennessee, Missouri, LSU, Oklahoma. Outside of Georgia, very, very manageable schedule. Maybe a pretty tough one there with Missouri. Everything else should be easy. But Georgia, that'll be a good game, man. That'll be a good game coming up in 3 weeks.